YouTube channel. So, big shock for those of you who know me. Don't know me, welcome to my page. An expat in Germany. I didn't want to announce it any earlier in the planning stages just because I was really worried it wasn't going to work out. But it's been a successful 2 months here, so I think I can say successfully made it. What am I doing in Germany? I have come here to pursue Taekwondo, TF Taekwondo specifically, become a TF World Champion. I'd like to be a living example of things that seem impossible can actually be achieved. So that's something I'm interested in. That's what I'm going to be vlogging, posting about. Check out my Instagram. I'm going to be posting more there. I guess I'll link it below. Essentially, I'll just be going over what it's like to be an athlete in Germany. And yeah, let's remove all the sloppy, gooey stuff and we'll get into the content of the video. From Australia, as you can tell by my accent. There's obviously been a few shocks that I've experienced being here. It'll be interesting to make a video about it, just for my own experience. Shocks being good things and bad things, neutral things, or just general vibe of things here. Yeah. So some culture shocks I don't have specific examples for, it's just kind of a feeling that I get. Anyways, you'll see when I get into it. The first culture shock, change rooms. People have no shame here. They will strip butt naked, get in the shower in front of everyone. That was a big shock for me. Like when I came into training, I just saw like this old lady butt naked in front of me and I was like, whoa. Okay, so that's what we do here. Personally in Australia, like if I work out and like shower and change in the comfort of my own home, but these people will not be caught dead, like half sweaty or less than half decently dressed. They're showering straight after training, and yeah, I guess they don't care that there's other people around. I don't know, but big shock for me. Anyways, I'm not complaining though. I was gonna say like it, but that's not the right word. I just think like it shouldn't be a big deal in general. Like we're all human, we all have the same body parts. Like it's normal, just like shower and leave. Like culture shock number 2 is the lifestyle here. In Melbourne, I don't think you'd be able to go to like a restaurant or a cafe, and I don't think anyone would be caught dead just sitting there and doing nothing. Like it is beautiful. They literally just sit. This is them at a cafe, like nothing to do, like no places to be. They're just sitting, enjoying the view, relaxing. Like they're not reading a newspaper. They're literally just sitting there like they've got the rest of their life in front of them. They're like in Melbourne, if you were sitting at a cafe, you'd be on your phone reading something. Wouldn't just be caught sitting there and looking out into the blue unless you were like above 65 years old. But here, normal even for people like my age. Very relaxed culture and there's no judgment. I feel like it's an innate human trait that people embrace here, but in Melbourne it's just kind of like looked down upon or judged a little bit. As for just like going to a cafe on your own, it is common in Melbourne, it does happen. Here it's like all ages, everywhere you go, breakfast, lunch, dinner, people just chill on their own and they enjoy their own space and sanctuary, and I just think that's beautiful. So cash is king in Germany. I feel like that's not a new concept, but it won't break your big cash into change. I needed to wash my clothes and obviously you need coins to do that. Went into the shop next door and was like, hey, can you guys like break my change? No, that's not possible. What do you mean it's not possible? You literally have a cashier sitting right in front of you. You can't just like swap some notes around. I went into a supermarket and the same thing happened to me. They just look at me like, no, it's not possible. It's like, you receive cash all the time. It wasn't like I was asking for them to break like an €100 note. It was 20. I was asking for like a 10 or a 5. Anyway, 4. Culture shock number 3, casual clothes at corporate work. So I went to get registered here. To my surprise, the guy came up to me and they were from Kmart. Like, I'm not saying he was dressed badly, he was just fine. It was a very corporate setting. There was offices and desks everywhere. The whole procedure was very official. When we came in, we had to have a specific type of mask. We were directed where to go. Everyone walking around had this really like serious face and like directed aura about them. Just had the guy come out as our appointment and he was just like in casual clothes. It's a huge culture shock, and that you wouldn't wear jeans to work, but these guys, definitely something we need to bring back to Melbourne. Culture shock number 4 or 5, I've low-key lost count. They won't compensate for you. Someone in a customer service oriented work, if they can help you out with something, not directly tied to their work, they will usually say yes. Germans won't. The thing is, when you ask a question, they won't consider it. They'll just straight up say no. They don't even like give you 2 seconds to think about their question. It's just no. Like they bite at you. It's just clear cut, straight lines. type deal. Culture shock number 6, fashion sense. First week I was here, I don't think I saw one badly dressed human. And even in Melbourne, when you go to the city, like, you dress up a little bit. You'll see people that are dressed decently, pretty casually, pretty lower class, for lack of a better term. Yeah, I'm very out of place. I've never been a very materialistic person. Like, my clothes are either hand-me-downs or clothes that I haven't grown out of. Like, I don't shop. I'm not. Here, I feel so out of place because they all dress so well and you actually look like such a bum rocking up to just like normal places. Even to go to training, like, they're not even in their training clothes. They're going to the city clothes. And after training, they'll shower and they'll get back into the I'm going into the city clothes, even though they're just going home to like eat dinner and sleep. Culture shock number 7. There with one of the best things about Germany. Their portion sizes are huge. Their huge portion sizes are just normal portion sizes. But in Melbourne, everything has just become so overpriced and tiny. Like, you'll pay $5 for like a small soy latte, but it was like €3. Glasses are huge. And not gonna lie, it's really funny seeing like really small people receive food that is like 3 times their size, but it should be normalized. Like, people eat a lot. It's not aesthetic or cute to charge them much for like a tiny plate just because it looks good. We eat a lot, we drink a lot. If I go to a cafe, I don't want like a small glass of milk. I want like an extra large. That's what I came here for. Not about like being overweight. It's literally just about being a decent portion size. Culture shock number 8. No one cares what you do here. It's nice to see a 23-year-old girl at a cafe eating like some hot chips. Like, you go to a date or like you drink a coffee with a friend to be able to do that sort of activity. But here it's just like people of all ages and genders do that on their own and no one cares. The trains usually start to die down around 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. Here, it is packed. Like, packed. The seats are all full. You have people standing in the train. It's like 9, 10 o'clock at night and everyone's my age too. I'm like, where are you guys going and why am I not invited? So many people on the train and it's so late at night, and I know it's not holidays because I know people are like studying for exams and stuff. They're not just like half asleep or like, you know, I've just come back from like a long day at work. They're like dressed up, sitting up tight, like eyes wide open, listening to their podcasts or like whatever they're doing, like wide and awake like it's like 8 p.m. I'm like, it's 10, 11. Aren't you guys going to bed? Home watching TV or something? They're just on the train. I'm like, yeah, really like huge culture shock to see people out so late at night on a weekday. A funny story for some of you guys, but they don't make iced coffee here. Or they do, but you go to a specific place. And Dunkin' Donuts, Macca's, Starbucks, normal like everyday corner coffee shops, they don't make it. If they do, I don't know how to ask for it because I went to a cafe. Iced coffee sounds like ice coffee. And ice in German is ice cream. When you say iced coffee, they think that you want cream on your coffee, which in Melbourne is like an abstract idea. Like, why the hell would you put cream on like water, essentially? Here, they do it. It's like normal. It's like everyone puts cream and ice cream on everything, which I'm not complaining about, but I kind of am because I feel like dairy gives me acne. For an iced coffee, and I'm like, no cream, no ice cream, just cold coffee and some soy milk. And he goes, yeah. Comes back. Coffee looks great. I take a sip and there's like this blobbing ice cream piece inside it and I'm like, you said you understood what I meant. So I have a very uncomfortable conversation about how this is not the coffee that I wanted. And then they proceeded to ruin my coffee again, so we had to leave. But anyways, lesson is you can't go to a corner coffee store and ask for an iced latte. They just won't know what you're talking about. Shock number maybe like 8 or 9. We've entirely lost track. Shock number 9 is the language and people. So coming to Germany, I feel like the world has just this perception of Germans, that Germans are really like aggressive and loud and angry, and their language and their demeanor is like really severe and stern. I have not experienced that here at all. I have experienced the nicest, most genuine Germans. First week here, when I go to wash my clothes at like a laundromat, this old lady who couldn't speak the best English, but she was trying her best, and she was trying to show me like how the machines worked. And she was like, oh, if I was like a person in another country and I wouldn't know how to speak the language, I would want someone to help me like this too. Telling me Germans are mean, that literally melted my heart. The guy that helped me with the bike, the girl that's helped me with the real estate. I went into a laundromat and I was like, oh my god, you guys speak English? And they were like, yeah, we do, like, let's go out for coffee. And even their language, not heard like any aggression from the way that they speak. Actually, girls, when they speak, it's kind of like attractive. Like, it's very girly the way that they speak, even though it's in German. Like, it doesn't sound like aggressive or harsh. They're actually just talking. So I don't know where that perception came from, but definitely not the case. The people here are actually so nice. Culture shock number 10 is German is just English extended. It's not even that hard to understand. Or it is, you just need to cut the German word in half and you'll get the English one. The best example I can think of, you know in Ariel, that scene where Flounder, they're like going through all of Ariel's things, a fork, a doppelganger, and you're just like, bro, that's a fork. What are you on about? Like, where did all the extra syllables come from? I'm not trying to be mean, but that is high-key the German language. As an Australian, that is what I've experienced. In Taekwondo, when they're talking about drills, they're like, next Aufgabe, the next drill. Get to the point. Australians are sort of like half-assed and lazy. They're just half words and slang for everything. Here, they will say the whole word repetitively. Entschuldigung, like, excuse me. I don't know, there's just like a bulge to the end of their words that Australians just don't have. Leicht contact, it's like light contact. Why do you have shh in the middle of it? I don't know, I just feel like there's extra effort there that doesn't need to be. We call hand wraps, like we wrap our hands for kickboxing. Call it bandage. The accent to the A, we're just like hand wraps. It's so much shorter and snappier. Telling you to concentrate on a drill, they'll be like, concentrate euch. It's like, concentrate. This is a European thing. There's a lot of old buildings here, a lot. You just go to something as simple as a pharmacy. It looks like a church. There's beauty associated with that. I feel like nowadays we're just like building apartments for like convenience. Whereas here, there's colours to everything. Old buildings, you've just got all these intricate carvings. Like everything's curved and cursive. And you can tell so much effort and detail has been put into each individual brick. Whereas nowadays we just like cement everything and paint it white and then call it a building. And actually shapes and like beauty. Culture to the buildings here. Last culture shock, I don't know, I think we're like at 11 or 12, is their parking. It's like people park like almost in the middle of the road. I feel like Australians put themselves on like reverse parallel parking and getting as close to the curb as possible. Here, it's like, what is a curve? You either park on the footpath or like at least a solid meter away from it, so you're basically in the middle of the road. If you guys enjoyed that insight into the culture shocks that I've experienced in Germany, it's one of the most recommended experiences I ever give anyone. There is no regrets at all. I'm in a new place, I'm in a new country, but even though there's like all these minor differences, the general essence of what humans undergo in their everyday experiences doesn't seem to change. Still have supermarkets, shopping malls, people going to work every day, retired population just enjoying the weather, going on walks. Even though people are speaking in another language, there's principles of language that remain the same. So the way that people laugh, the way that people joke, the way that people explain things, the way that people scrunch their eyes when they're thinking. It's actually really interesting to see the transition. We all are like the same when we talk and think and act, just in another language, it's just in another location. And those goodbyes, thank yous, Friday, Saturday nights are popping off here, that people are going out to enjoy themselves after maybe like a long week at work. It's crazy or drastically different here. When it comes to being human, most things remain the same. Yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, follow me, I'm definitely going to be posting more content. If there's any content that you want me to mention or you guys know about, let me know down in the comments or DM me on Instagram or something like that. If you have any questions about moving abroad, any questions about life here, or anything that you want to know, feel free to reach out. I'm a really open person, I really like talking to people. So yeah, reach out to me if you want to. Yeah, support the page, support the cause. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.